course. Let's call that a minute. Hey now, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Where to begin, guys? Where to begin? I better go and timestamp that now because I will forget. So, we left off, guys, last week. I'm a wee bit sunburnt, you might be able to tell. We left off last week doing pre-season in terms of just laying out the club and kind of going through and trying to identify weaknesses and all that good stuff, with it being like my third season almost, like coming into on Sorare. And the next kind of level down from that is what I'm going to be mainly going into on the Sorare Data Leagues. But guys, across the world, like transfer business galore has been happening, for better and for worse. Some of it concrete, some of it just wild speculation that the market overreacted to, and no end, TBC on that. And we've got breaking transfers happening all the time. So like just before coming on stream, Rabbi Matondo confirmed to Rangers. So I don't know if he's still U23, but again, a CFG kid, left I think this summer after Jadon Sancho to Schalke, after Jadon Sancho obviously happened. And he's Welsh, so he's not English, but there's like some parallels there in terms of the way they play and stuff. And he had a good season in Belgium. I'm sure he's going to be pretty good in Scotland if he plays, to be honest. And so anything that happens on stream, we'll catch that as it comes in as well. And obviously you guys are here. I want to hear what you guys are up to in pre-season. There we go. Just stick that in there now before I forget. Awesome possum. And also as well, with after me going through my kind of depth and whatever, obviously some transfers have happened, like I said, but I've also went into the market a little bit with my club, so I'll be kind of going through that as well, because it kind of ties into one of the kind of things I was mentioning on, I think I was the stream last time. So I actually find it quite coincidental and quite beneficial that I was actually able to repeat the same thing, and I'm actually pretty chuffed with the end result of it all, or the end product of it all. Don't forget, guys, the end product stream, the end product podcast went live last Thursday or Friday or something like that. It's available on all the podcast outlets. It's me and Plastician this week. Tony Watt will be back with us once he's finished his pre-season. And also on the channel, I did catch up with Tony last week. That video went out on Monday, and it was just me and Tony going through, mainly Tony's gallery, mine as well, of course, just kind of going through pre-season motions, transfers, and where card prices are at, that sort of thing. So yeah, ahoy mate. No more pre-season for me. Joshy Forth is coming into the season, he's telling me now. He's rubbing it in my face. There's 17 of you here already or so. If you could smash the like button, it would be a huge help to me, and I thank you in advance if you do so. I will be dropping fist bumps on arrival, especially to everyone that caught me with the muted mic, because normally I come on muted mic and drop the wee intro stream, and you know what, I was just catching the tail end of Ski Low there, and I thought, you know what, I'll just let the last 5 seconds of that play, and I forgot to unmute the mic. So I went for a wee bit of effect, and there's a wee bit of a backfire on it. So hey ho, we're off to a great start today. I'm really getting geared up as well. We had the Sorare game week calendars come out the other day, just kind of detailing through when Josh's European season starts, game week 288 I want to say, through to like, I can't remember the calendar, but it definitely covered 292, which is my big like starting point game week. So we'll be going through that in the stream as well. Any insight you guys have got, of course, in the chat is always welcome and will be included in the conversation. And I think, we'll just be kind of dancing around all that kind of stuff, transfers that have happened or not happened, and everything in between. So in here, nice and sharp, good to see you all. Joshy 4 fist bump, good to see you, my man. Ian, Sorare Nube, Sojiwa. Dylan Rooter, good to see you. David Taylor, and no sound for everyone. Sorry guys. Evan Crightley, Lewis Banger, John Andrews, my man, good to see you. Kane Carnage, as always. Martin Van Duren, good to see you. End Product Podcast is next in line for work tonight. Nice, Kane, love it, man. There's so much content to get through there now. It is the best time to be playing Sorare and to be like getting this. It is just the bit. I'm having so much fun now, and like, even though like I took basically like the weekend off there, like, and went away and all the rest of it, there was tons of content for me to even just like enjoy and partake in and whatever as well. And I'll be listening to all the podcasts and all the streams and everything that goes out. Even this morning I was catching up with some of the stuff on YouTube that I hadn't caught when it came out at the time. And the noises that Sorare are making and the kind of the developments we've had, especially over the last like 3 weeks or so, like, the juices are flowing. It's fucking and see that I'll start the stream off with this, guys, right? See, the whole time I've been making content, like, I have always had some sort of vision in my mind of when I get to this point in time, my gallery, my portfolio, my collection, whatever will look like this, will be doing that, and I can kind of imagine it. And honestly, like, see, because my gallery's so Celtic dominant and I'm so obviously biased towards Celtic, like, spanking everyone this year, like, I have to check myself, because I think I must be over it, I must be overestimating. And so for that point, basically, like, I really can't see beyond game week 292. Like, I really need to be in game week 92, seeing Celtic play Aberdeen at Parkhead, Flag Day, seeing the starting 11. And, so it's like, it's a really exciting time for me, and I feel like I'm in uncharted territory in that sense. Like, I feel like, not to sound like weird or anything, right, but I always feel like I can kind of see, like, if I'm planning ahead, I can imagine, I can kind of, it's the only way of saying this, but like, kind of see the future. Like, I can imagine where I'm going, I can see where the plan will take me, but I just can't see. It's like, there's this like imaginary wall, like, again, week 292, I just can't see beyond that. It's like it's almost like, it's shrouded in fog, and I need to get there and then flash the torches on it, and then, we'll see if there's gold at the end of the rainbow kind of idea. It should be good fun. I want to hear your expectations for the European season as well. Can you clearly see through the fog better than I? I want to know your thoughts. That'd be really interesting. Joe Ducey, fist bump, I caught you. Sorare Chani, good to see you, my man. I was just listening to your last video just in the car on the way in there. Dave G, good to see you. I'm just going to scroll back up. Atri Gosh, fist bump. Santa's Boys, good to see you. And did I miss anyone there? Nope, only started SO5 this summer. Might be focused on my team building first limited. Nice. Dylan's building his first teams. That's nice. Fred the Almighty, fist bump. Good to see, my man. I can't afford to play the European leagues in the manner I want, so there is no pre-season for me. Fair enough. I maybe beg to differ, just depending on. It depends on your budget, of course. But like, for example, like a week or two ago, I picked up a Marcus Llorente limited for like 18 quid, and I think he's a good enough card. You don't need to play him in Champion Euro. You can play him in All-Star. You can play him in Specialist. You could maybe even play him in Underdog on occasions. So it depends what you're looking for. Equally, I think like David Silva, I know he's like 35 or whatever, but I think he's going to play much more next season than he did last season. And you can see his scores when he did play. He is old, right? But he's David Silva, and he's not done after Sociedad. Like, I know he's old, right? But he's not a pensioner. Like, he's one of these guys that's always in good nick, and his game's never been like pace reliant. His pace does play a part in his game, but his game is all his ability with the ball, and that's not changing anytime soon. It's just about minutes on the pitch and general fitness. So it depends what you're looking for, of course, but I wouldn't write it off. Because there's more than one way to skin the cat, let's say. Each weekend from now, the next few weeks, just stepping up things nicely. Yeah, John, I definitely agree. I guess that's on Sorare. What are your thoughts on the new specialist leagues, Joe? Great question. I'm sure we'll come to that. I've caught Atri on his lunch break. Good to see you. I start 288 with Russian cards. Santa Boys, buzzing for you. Built an SPFL roster now, so looking forward to 292. Atri, love it. Learned a big lesson this summer, Channy Sports, by barely winning rewards. Summer is short, patience is key, not worth restructuring my whole gallery to cater to the summer. I totally agree, Channy, and I was actually in the exact same position last summer. Like, I went real heavy on MLS Super Rares last year, and that's where I got the majority of my like Super Rare stock, was like basically a year ago, and I felt that same kind of thing, and I was like, no, I'm just going to lean into the America stuff and win Europeans with them, and then let that organically take shape. And I think that's a great strategy to go with if your America cards are global capable, and I know your gallery personally, of course, because of the content. So yeah, buzzing. I'm all about that. Josh Cullen from Anderlecht to Burnley is all but confirmed. Kane Carnage, great one there. I think he's another, like, along with Harwood Bellis, he's another like company signing. So he's got to be thinking about playing them. Josh Cullen, like, should be championship level. So that could be a good move, and apparently Muric is not too far away now. I think some other development happened with maybe a Damaspor or something, and subsequently it looks like Muric maybe now to Burnley is a bit more likely. Can't wait to get involved in the Celtic streams. Love it, Kane. I'm still scared to mix the team between All-Star and Specialist, but we persevere. I've had kind of Perry, fist bump, good to see, my man. But I've had mixed results in Specialist, right? And I was actually thinking about it this game week, right, which has just ended, right? I've got some Eve to pick up, but let's go and have a look at the the teams are ruled out, right? So for specialist, I've done the sandwich, right, which I was really quite chuffed about. So I'm just going to move this down here. And it didn't really pay off. Unfortunately, the Argentinos boys both started on the bench. Stefan Fry bringing in a Ferry, and Gomez Andrade and Thiago Talos Magno both coming in with 60 plus is admirable, but I do need those guys to bring in 70 pluses in this squad. Like, that is their designation, is to lift the team up, you know. And, you know, I feel like they've done their minimum. So if, like, maybe some of these other guys had brought in like 50s, maybe one more 60, I would have maybe caught a tier 3 limited, maybe a tier 2 limited or something like that. Nothing spectacular. But when Magno brings in 68 and Andrade brings in 67, I know anything amazing is off the table. Those are the big plays, and if the big plays don't come off, then the sandwich is cold, you know. And we want our sandwiches hot, melting, with a wee bit of melted cheese in there, you know. So I'm feeling now with the Magno and the Andrade, I'm like, well, if I maybe played them in global. I did have some other cards. I had Lampay with a 76. I had, you know, even Isaka 75, Barry Al 64, Jordan Morris and Roldan with 50s, you know, which is much better than what I had here, you know. So am I maybe missing a trick with some of my better cards that I'm constantly playing into specialist? For the game week that's just started, so I actually have sold my Marcinkowski or whatever, for, I can't remember, but a mild profit, and I've picked up Rafael Romo, who was actually much cheaper, and now he is the underdog qualified card. Bill Hamid is out for 2 to 3 months. He's going to play as long as he's underdog qualified. That's all I care about really with this guy. Domenico Crescito made his debut for Toronto, bringing in like a 50 odd or something. So great start for him. He plugs right into this as like one of the mid scorers. I've got Heber, who is expected to start as the other underdog qualified card, and then Magno and Roldan, of course, are two of the big players that I really need to come in. The Seattle's fixture isn't particularly exciting, neither for that matter is NYC's, but they're good players, and that's what we want good players to do, is play good football. That's what it's all about. Rewards and specialists require about 270, and anything around 350 can be a rare. Yeah, so 350 is the goal, and to get 350, considering the fact that like Heber normally is a bench player and was a bench player last week when I played him, and evidently so were both of my Argentinos guys, 350 then is, out of the question if those are the calibre of guys that you're submitting, which I am, and that's the angle I'm trying to play with this as much as possible, because those Argentinos guys combined cost like 40 quid, and both of them are under 23, decent enough prospects to take the bet on in that respect, to just have a limited card that I can just toss around whenever I need them. So yeah, I'm beginning to feel that as well at the specialist, risk reward. It's only been America Region Open. I think I've managed to get a decent enough team out. Thiago Martins has returned from injury. The rest of the team kind of speaks for itself. I didn't really have much else available, in all honesty. But yeah, so I feel like as we're moving forward, like it is kind of rinse and repeat. I did opt to go for America Pro with there being no threshold and me having no other midfielder. It was the only play that made any kind of sense. I'm not going to go and dip into the market to play America Rare with a rare midfielder in the hope that I bag a tier 3 or whatever the tail of the reward pool would be, because that's all I could expect. Andrade's not definite to start. He's definitely going to get minutes. He's definitely decisive capable. He's on bad form. He's on poor form. I'm hoping that turns around. The thing now is all about MLS in Asia region, so I want to avoid them. Just need to be smarter. Yeah, I think with the variety now, like you bring up River there. River's very interesting, but Enzo Fernandez sounding like he's on the plane out there for the new European season starting, and also obviously Alvarez leaving. River player heavily nerfed, heavily. So the under 23s, this is something that's really underrated with the America and the Asia cards, like that Chani and some of you guys will be keeping moving into the European season, because by the time the European season starts, all of those American and Asian cards, you will firmly know as much as possible at any point in the season their standing in the squad and their likelihood of minutes and their likely contribution to the match, Whereas for the European cards, for a lot of cards, it's square one, day one, and you don't know where they're at, how fit they are, where the manager sees them in their plans. There's been transfers in and out. There's very little certainty, in terms of cards and who will start and that kind of thing. Yes, there is some, but that's it, right, the tippy top of the mountain, the absolute apex players. Beyond that, there's so much, room for anything could happen with different players. Formation changes, form, whatever. And as well, the transfer window is still young. It's going to go all the way to like bloody August or September or whatever. So like there's still plenty of time for all sorts of crazy stuff to happen. And the European teams especially will be the ones that are realizing we need another defender, we need another forward, we need a backup guy for this, and those will be the teams, because they've got the most money as well, that are going to move into the market and then like start to buy more players as the transfer window comes to a close. So America and Asia has a bit of protection from that, because like your good scorer that plays for like the 5th team in Japan isn't a transfer target really for anyone in Europe most of the time. Sometimes these things do happen, the outliers, but by and large most of these guys are protected from the random going to some you know what I'm saying. So that's an advantage to be had, especially in under 23, when the age group, because they are under 23 players, everything I just said is enhanced because they're younger. They've got more senior players around them. They've got more they're more likely to hit hot patches and then go cold. Need rested and rotated and whatever. So having that certainty, having that flow with under 23 players from non-EU regions, like I think you'll feel, even with like if you have the types that haven't been nerfed, especially that it will still be kicking on and still dropping big scores. I think you'll be really glad and very thankful to have some of those guys when the prize pools are bulging and when all the football's firing and you've got all this variety of competition as well, because you don't need those guys even more so than ever before. You don't need Asian cards to play Asia. You can play Asian cards in fucking everything. Now freaklies and kickoffs and all sorts of stuff. So that's always the thing that's stopped me really like building an Asian like squad. I did have one for a while, of course, because it was necessity. But because I thought I'm never excited. I don't want to win cards from that region. I don't want to commit resources towards it, whatever. And also I've got some kind of legacy cards from that region that I'm always going to have now at this point. But beyond that, I have no motivation. I had no motivation. Maybe I do now to acquire some more, because it is like a good card for a specialist situation or for a kickoff entry now and again, or whatever it might be. So yeah, like I think don't sleep on the stuff you've got already, and the grass isn't always greener. Running around the market all the time can be profitable, but it's backfired on me, like this transfer window, obviously with Vinicius Souza going to Espanyol. Now the funny thing about that, right, is like what minute are we at? 18:30. So the thing about Vinicius Souza to Espanyol, right, is I actually watched like 3 Espanyol matches right at the end of the season after I won the Yangel Herrera Super Rare. And Yangel Herrera, in my opinion, is doing the job last year that Vinicius Souza is going to do this year. And, Yangel Herrera did a very good job. He's a very good tackling midfielder. Goes box to box well enough for like a number 6 type guy. He's not scared to go forward if the space opens up for him. And, he's got some okay scores, nothing great. And he's a bit older, a bit more seasoned. Maybe Vinicius Souza is better, and maybe Espanyol get better this year. It's very possible, and maybe it's likely. I'll be looking into that actually tomorrow in a bit more detail. And also on that note, for me, Yangel Herrera feels like the next best thing that Celtic could go and get. So he's a wee bit older again, so some of the profiles of the players like Bernabé, for example, and Vinicius Souza, Jota, that we've been spending money on have been like U23 kind of guys. Maybe the club is trying to stick to that kind of age profile. Maybe for a guy like Yangel Herrera, which, we were rumoured to want Vinicius Souza, and his price tag was circa 8 to 9 million. I think Yangel Herrera's price tag is circa 6 million if you listen to the transfer market and all these kind of Twitter accounts and whatever. And again, he's a CFG owned player, so there is lines of communication already open with the holding party, let's say. So I'm quietly kind of praying on a miracle in that sense. With Tati suspended and wanting out, does he play another minute for NYCFC, do you think? I actually think when he got kind of injured in the game against the Revs, that surely the guys behind the scenes were like, shit, get him subbed off now. Like, we can't have him getting injured because we've set a price tag and we're holding for it. So if he gets injured, then they have to, it strongly decreases their strength of negotiation, if the player now becomes injured. So they will want to protect that. So I can imagine they maybe try to expedite something now and maybe just say, listen, we'll take 2 million off the top if you buy him today, kind of idea. Maybe they try and do something like that and use the suspension as maybe some sort of, kind of veil for that kind of fear, if you like. Reckon Asia and America becomes increasingly undervalued as European kicks. Yeah, it will, actually, because it just is less known. It's just a fact, like, no matter how many people play Sorare, and no matter how many people do take Asia seriously, the majority won't. It's just going to happen all the time. And people will win rewards, see an SRD price, list 10% under to shoot it quick. And, there's always going to be opportunities in Asian cards if you can keep your finger on the pulse and really know the league. And I've seen players on all budgets, take advantage of that knowledge gap because it's very distinct and very clear. You can see the guys that know their stuff, that buy these, everyone who knows the Asian leagues well always has tweets of, bought this guy for £4 and, that kind of stuff. And that's fantastic. And, there's nothing wrong with that. And those opportunities do come up as well when the bigger, shinier thing that we're all, European football's on, happens as well, because more people will focus towards a more desirable thing, and that's just, again, human nature, I guess, in that respect. Let me see where are we at with everything. Injured in training today as well is Koku, so that was a bit of news. And again, I was thinking that maybe scuppers any transfer, because like if it is an injury, if he's injured for like 6 weeks, he is staying at Feyenoord. I think there's not much of a chance that the sort of money he would be required to spend to give Feyenoord to get Koku out of there. I don't think any team does that with him having an injury, So I think if he does have like a wee cheeky hamstring injury or something like that, he's going to be out for like 4 weeks or something, then holders, you might be getting another 6 months of Feyenoord action, and that's always a good result. I think strong Asian players can improve your All-Star, and All-Star Rare Pro lineups a lot, especially with the lower prices compared to European players. That comes from Focus with 2 S's. That was a great point, thanks very much, and I agree wholeheartedly. I've been winning rewards with my Shonen under 23 guys for multiple weeks. Mickey Fu just shows that anything is possible with players from lower ranked teams as well. I make you right. Like, I just did the whole MLS, if you check out the channel, I dropped 28 videos. I did every team in MLS and went through the goalkeeper, a star player, and the best SO5 card, and then tried to build the best SO5 team with the club. The videos are all quite short. And what I noticed really quickly is, even some of the crap teams, the really bad teams at the bottom of the league, when you put an SO5 team together, some of them hit first on the podium and stuff like that, And it's like, how do they do that? But I don't know, New York Red Bulls don't. New York Red Bulls, by the way, are they've got lots of teams have games in hand on them, but they're very well positioned in the table. And when you look at them on SO5, they stink. They've just not had a good 5 that you could really plug together. But teams I don't know, I can't remember who it was exactly. It might have been DC or somebody of that kind of caliber, maybe Chicago. But somebody had some actual really good potential scorers, and one of them it was San Jose. San Jose had 1 week where they brought in 440. It's like, what? But so yeah, Mickey Fu, I make you totally right. Odorine has become an interactive viewer. Welcome to the club. Thanks for buying your season ticket to FC Barcelona, is the chat we've got here. And by the way, if you go into the community tab or the members tab, if you go into the members tab on the main channel, I dropped the link in there for the Telegram. So Telegram is just like WhatsApp basically, if you don't have it, but it's like the new WhatsApp. It's super secure and encrypted and blah 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 whatever. So I've made a wee group in there for all the people that are on the higher membership, the the £2 one. So if you do that, we're in a Telegram group. I don't know what we're going to do in there, but it's open, and we'll be in there like a dog eating beetroot, going through cards, transfers, all this crazy stuff that happens all the time as it happens, which is good fun. So Odorine, thanks for joining the club, my man. Great to have you on board. You can easily pick up a super rare from Asia America for a fraction of the price of a European one. I totally make you right, John Andrews. Yeah, some great chat going on here. Guys, if you are here and you're enjoying the stream, please do hit the like button. It means a lot to me, helps a lot in the channel. You've got no idea. So the Vinicius Souza transfer absolutely rocked me in a big way, because I'd actually put just under an ETH against it, and I thought, this is a no-lose situation. He goes to Celtic, jackpot. He doesn't go to Celtic, he's going to PSV to replace Sangar, he's going to Bruges, he's doing this, he's doing that, Benfica, whatever, Fenerbahce, and no. Boom. All of a sudden, he's in Barca, he's signed for Espanyol. done deal, he's there at training all of a sudden, and it's like, oh my god, and he's just plummeted in price. So like the problem I had when we did the lineup builder last week was that I clearly, beyond when Ki Sung Young is not available, and even Sebastian Lletget as cover kind of worked as well, but Lletget we agree isn't the answer to my All-Star, my Division 3, my All-Star Rare Pro entries. So I had a bit of pressure to do that on me, and with that happening, I was like, oh my god, like this is a dropping asset, you know, it's fallen like a stone kind of thing. I need to offload this for as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And obviously, or not obviously, sorry, it's the wrong way of putting this, but if you were here for the last pre-season stream, or it was one of the other videos I did recently, I was talking about the David Sorare, Alfred Gomis trade that I did, and how it was just all about the net result. And basically what I was able to get out and do to the last night, is I found on my club, again, just by going through SRD ratings and all that kind of stuff, that Ivor Pandur was on the floor was 0.95 Ethereum for him, and his last sale was like 0.8, I beg your pardon, so, you know, 0.8 of an ETH at 800 quid or so. He is on loan at Fortuna Sittard, who also have Yannick van Osch, who has been there for a few years, is a good goalkeeper. I really, of all the goalkeepers in Holland, he is one of the ones I just cannot imagine like why you would want to replace him exactly. So I do expect Pandur is going to get minutes. I do expect he's going to become more expensive than he currently is today. But like I was saying to Chani earlier, I was in this situation last year, and his name wasn't Ivor Pandur, his name was Marcus Schubert. And you know what? Marcus Schubert was a lovely card last year, but you know what? He had an expiry date. He also had a peak, which I didn't catch because I would get greedy and I wanted to keep him for utility, and that worked out for me. And this time, I'm not getting greedy, and I'm going to wrap that desirable asset against an undesirable asset that still have, in my opinion, both like, you know, I think... you know, Vinicius Souza at Espanyol, I can't expect anything better than Yangel Herrera scores, you know, so take that as you will for what I think is valuable as time rolls on. He's also losing U23 in a year, and Pandur, I think, is just going to be Schubert the second. So, I found myself one of the dream midfielders that I had for the European season coming in. Like I spoke about on a stream or something recently, when I picked up the limited for 18 quid, Diego Simeone is on the record as saying we want Marcos Llorente to be playing in his optimal position. We're not playing him right back again. We're not playing him right wing back. We're going to sort that problem out, and we're going to put Marcos Llorente in an offensive situation to maximise his ability in the team. That's Simeone's sentiment. That's Simeone's gospel. And Diego Simeone, as we know, as El Cholo, is the godfather of Madrid. He writes all the rules in that club. What he says goes. He says, I want Griezmann. They bring back Griezmann. So yeah, that's going to happen. I've also got Cunha, of course, so that could be a great double play as well. The Llorente really enhances a lot of the stuff I've already got going on in the club already. Is a fantastic Champ Euro rare mid that will have midweek utility, and I'm not relying on him being world class. I'm just relying on him being himself. I'm just relying on him being Marcos Llorente, playing in that team, in the position, doing the scores I've already seen from him when he was playing there with the likes of, you know, Griezmann and Suarez, admittedly, who's not there anymore. It's more likely going to be Cunha now, which again, like I mentioned, I've got the super rare Cunha, so that works for me on a few levels. Fun fact, I've played club football with Marcus Schubert in my youth. Ziki Zaki, that is lovely. Wonder how Felix fares this season. Felix, like, I follow a Twitter account called Atletico. I'm just going to put this camera on for some fun. I follow this Twitter account called the Atleti Universe or something like that, and they were saying in the first pre-season game they had prepared for João Felix to get like just 20 minutes in the pre-season game, so it's like really softly him and a few other guys have had like a really softly easy slowly pre-season approach with the idea of keeping them in a great nick for the full season. So TBC on that. It feels like Griezmann and Cunha are definitely in the first team plans this year. And again, if Felix is fit, I think maybe Cunha's spot's more at risk than necessarily Griezmann's for a starting position. For minutes, I think all three of them are nailed on like throughout the season, and it is just going to be the most fit guy at the best time, you know, depending on the opponent they've got. Let's just go back here. That kind of idea. So that's what I think about Felix. So I'm actually really buzzing that I managed to pull that trade off. Ivor Pandur as well, by the way, like just so you know, there's actually a really nice kind of sentiment right about now. This is the 12th of July. I got this guy the day after my wedding last year. I got married on the 25th of August. Yep, the 25th of August last year. And I got this guy the morning after. And he was in a bundle with Super Rare Ivan Illich and 3 other random guys. And I've sold them for buttons or whatever. So to now, almost a year later, have Pandur like come into some notable value and have the situation where I'm capturing a Llorente Super Rare off the back of it as a result. I'm also kind of forgiven the sin of this purchase on the club as well, because, you know, at 0.849, that was falling like a stone. And when you look at his lowest price now, I think it's like 0.4 or something, and I just don't see that going anywhere but down. Yeah, like, I don't see him being anything better than Yang. Let's look at Yangel Herrera, right? Because I do like the guy. I've got his Super Rare. I'm not shitting on him, but this is just reality. I think this is the job he does, and he's listed as a Man City player at the moment. I don't expect that to last for too much longer. But it can do okay. You know, you can get these scores in that team. This is all Herrera was able to do over the last year at Espanyol. Like I said, maybe Espanyol get better. Maybe Vinicius Souza is better than Yangel Herrera. But I can't expect much better than this. And equally, when you look at his price, like, I can't expect. And again, admittedly, he is now over the age of 23. But he's actually 24. I don't know why I thought he was like 25 or something. So he's a full year older. So this feels like what he will become in essence, unless he is the best version of Yangel Herrera and he averages these 68s and 79s and 46s, 52s, all these better scores, you know. And admittedly, like, Yangel Herrera is good for a yellow card, good for some negative actions in that sense. But hey ho, that's how I feel about it. And so to buy somebody for as much money as I did, and I feel that is a real reality, I don't mind burning the Pandur because I got him for buttons anyway, and his value for me is like immaterial. If people want to value him where they do, then I think they're mental, and I will do a trade off the back of that. And you know, I did this trade. I sent the offer at 1 a.m, 2 a.m. last night, went to bed, woke up, checked my emails, and boom, it was done. You see, 7 hours ago was this 12:30 British time. So good wee trades for me. And like I always say on the channel, guys, like, I am a fair operator. You know, I think that's a good deal for that guy. Like, if he thinks he can sell that stuff pretty quickly, then he had this listed for 1.1. Llorente rares go for around a quarter of a coin. You know, he is a midweek Champ Euro guy, so maybe it's about 4x the rare, maybe pushing 5 if his form that I expect to happen returns. So he's won, I've won. I think everyone's a winner in this deal, especially if he sells the Pandur for close to what he had this listed for. Then his Vinicius Souza play, whatever he wants to do with that, is pure gravy on top. Because again, I was speaking to McBride and he says to me, I think Pandur, he said to me, you should have kept Pandur. I think he goes up a bit more from here. If he plays, he doubles from where he's at now. And I agree with that. But I also agree that he's Schubert to come, you know. And Schubert was a great goalkeeper, won me some rewards last year. And I'm glad we've got Ziki Zaki in the house who knows the man and can attest to this. He's a good goalkeeper. But he didn't play all the time. And now he's not U23. So his value as a Sorare card has just done this, you know. And again, I got Schubert for buttons. I've managed to capitalise on that. And this year, history repeats itself. We're doing the same thing with Pandur. I don't actually remember specifically what I did with Schubert, but I didn't do it at this point of the year. I got greedy, I kept him, I used him, which was fine. But this year, I'm not doing that, just to be clear. Please drop a like, guys, if you're here and you're enjoying the stream. What I'm going to check out next is the game week calendar stuff that we got from... it's not in these notifications, is it? View all activity. It should be in news, yeah. Is this it here? Update to the terms and conditions. Yeah, that's fine. Game week 52. Is it not in here? Thresholds, notifications. Right, okay. Let me come back to you guys, and I'm going to just go. Actually, let's try this wee funny camera. I'll go and get the. Oh, sugar! I'll go and get the Twitter thing up. Go and get their post and get the. Oh no, I'll just do. Yeah, I'll just do it on Twitter. It's easier. So what I'm going to do is grab up the game week calendar that Sorare put out yesterday. It covers like the European, the start of the, yeah, there it's there, game weeks 289 to 292. So it's the game week after like Russia and Austria and stuff come back, I guess, if the Challenger Euro hardcores are after. But yeah, so this is from game, and again, for the start of the Scottish League, basically. For me, the real all-European start is game week 296. That's when we get Liga, the Prem, all these big European leagues. Everything's on fire from game week 296. So the next calendar, that's why I want to kind of look at this one, because the next calendar is the one I'm the most interested in. That's when, in theory, everything should be at its most abundant, because it's the start of the season. I know we've not got new season cards across the spectrum, but they've been surely holding back rewards that they can maintain throughout the year. Who knows? You would expect rewards to increase when new cards come on board, of course, but time will tell. As a worst case scenario, they should be the best looking for the next little while. If nothing significant changed, maybe something significant will change. Who knows? There's a community event tomorrow. I'm sure it's baseball related and nothing else, but you never know. So, what's new? Underdog competition is getting a slight change, and it's going to merge with the Freakly, okay? Now, the first thing I thought of when I read this is it becomes the Forkly, or the Forky, and I thought they just don't want to keep this pattern going anymore. So they're just just dinged the name and just went with Underdog, basically. But it's basically the Forkly, so it's Underdog, and you pick 5 players, one of them you dingy, no points for it at all. The best strategy for this, of course, will be goalkeepers being commons or whatever, or DNP keepers, whatever. The winners of the Super Rare division in Asia and America for Game Week 290. Now, Asia and America, there shouldn't be anything different from Game Week 290 to Game Week 288, really. But they've kind of realised, I think, all the rewards they're going to have. They must know new licenses to come on board or new season cards they've got. Maybe they've got everything lined up. All the picture days have been done in synchronisation. Perhaps Utopia is upon us, and we're going to have a huge sequence of new season cards come out for the rewards and everything else. But anyway, in Asia and America, in Game Week 290 and 292, they're also going to get a Star Rare in addition to a Tier 1 Super, which is fantastic for this division. It's been long overdue, and I think it's an easy out for them rather than trying to factor in uniques into this equation. There's pay down into the rares. Now, the question becomes, that's just for winning the thing. How much more appealing does that make the entire division? We'll need to see the rest of the reward pool to see how far back, because the main problem with that reward pool in Super Rare is how big the Tier 3 tail is versus the slim Tier 1s and then the couple of Tier 2s, and then it's just the Tier 3 tail. The Tier 3 party, as Max HG at So Rare Data, the Data Daddy, as Nels calls them, refers to it as the Tier 3 party at the back of the party. The back of the prize pool, sorry, I beg your pardon. Pool party. There we go. That's all that was in my head. The winners of Underdog Super Rare and Unique division, Underdog, this is Underdog Super Rare and Underdog Unique, it's the one division, in Game Week 290 and 292 are also getting a Star Rare in addition to their Tier 1 Super Rare prize. So the Underdogs have got if you've got those middle of the road supers or uniques now, I've not got a playing goalkeeper I think I would put into this, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to really make much use of this. We'll see, time will tell, but I don't envisage it. But that's fantastic if you can get into that and play it. Special weekly, the rules, they're the exact same basically. All players under 50 on Underdog. One card can be common and it will receive 0 points. So yeah, you get a main scarcity, so whatever the Underdog League is, if it's Underdog Rare, you can play a Limited, a Super Rare, whatever. If it's Underdog Limited, then you would need to play the Common or a Rare card to be the DNP card. So the goalkeeper position is what you're going to fill for that. Specialist League, I don't see any change to this at all. SR Kickoff, don't see any change to this at all. Of course, it's the L15 below. L15 below 50, and same for the Unique Kickoff. And then we see the actual prize pools here. Now, the first thing I want to look at so Game Week 289, we don't have, it's just all Americas and stuff. I'm not interested in that. Game Week 290, we see some of the Europeans back in action. Rare Pro is get 55 rares, which at first I thought was actually really low, but then I remembered it is. I don't really. There's a wee bit of Challenger going on now as well, so some of those Challenger rewards are going into the Challenger region, of course. But these prize pools do feel quite small. I know there's not much going on, but I'm kind of interesting. But specialists are nice and abundant for rares and limiteds. The kickoffs are getting good payouts. SR kickoff paying 90 limited cards, so that's an interesting development to say the least. Unique kickoff is paying out 30 rares, which is also a very interesting development as well, because the ability for these cards to win down has now been enhanced, so because what previously would fill these things the last couple of times is unique rewards, tier 2 uniques or tier 2 supers and that kind of thing. So with it being scarcity down, where are those rewards now going to be reallocated or repurposed or repackaged into is now what I want to see. Maybe that will come in time. Who knows? Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Who knows? Maybe you do. Let me know in the comment section, of course. Game week 291, we've just got some America stuff. Again, I'm not too interested in looking at in much detail. And then we get to the game week 292, when the boys in paradise will be raising the flag of champions and welcoming Aberdeen to Celtic Park. And of course, as you know, I will have all the green and white cards out across the spectrum. What is there on offer? All-Star Super Rare is going to have 25 card payout, which for me is very appealing, especially if we have the star on top. And if there's any potential for there to be star rares or whatever chucked on top, then that is just gravy for me. And I'm crossing my fingers and toes on that. All-Star Rare Pro goes up to 90 cards. Now, my recollection of the back end of the European season was like All-Star Rare Pro was getting up to like 100. I think the biggest it got was like 120 or something like maybe 135, but like never more than that. So for it to be like a good chunk of challenger back, I don't think any champion is back at this point. For it to be 90, I actually think is quite promising, because maybe we get beyond 135 or so. I don't remember what the actual threshold was, but if it was above 135 at any point of this new season, I would see that as a enhancement, just to let you know that now. All-Star Unique, I'm not too bothered about that. The limited card payouts are just as generous as always. Under 23 Rare Pros, only 32 cards. Now, maybe that's a little bit of a symptom of the amount of cards that are playing that are U23 eligible, because there is much less of them. Subsequently, the star tier has less cards in it. The tier 1 tier has less cards in it. Tier 2. So, if there is less cards in the tiers, then maybe there's less room for meaningful rewards, and there's more of the junk rewards at the bottom. And for the pro division, maybe it is just all gravy, tier 1s and above perhaps. And the rare pro, or just the rare in fact, 150 cards, or maybe actually a really big tier 3 tail on, I'm just speculating out loud. Challenger, 50 cards, 20 supers, which, is not actually too different to All-Star Super, which is an interesting development. Also, in America, Super's getting the rare boost as well. Maybe that's to combat the, we're talking about the America and the Asia dip. Maybe that's a wee bit of, price protection or whatever, or variable, making it comparable, because even though these cards in theory are worth less than the European ones, like as individual elements, maybe that's a way of kind of balancing the scales. So that's an interesting thought. Underdogs, we've got Underdog all the way up the suits, basically. Same as Specialists. So Underdog and Specialist, we've got all the way up the suits, which is lovely. And like I said, and like I was hoping for when we had the Under 23 and the O32 Specialist, like I would hope that there would be additional game week, there would be additional competitions. Does feel like it's a variation, and it does feel like, I'm thinking for these underdog caliber cards to have real value, you need to have real consistency of deployment. These divisions need to be open every weekend almost for me to consider an L15 under 50 card as a viable, because sometimes if I pick up a guy like a Romo, if his team doesn't have a game for a week and then they have the game week and then it's Specialist, it's not Underdog, and then he's actually not as valuable to me all of a sudden, and then he has a good game and then he loses that score, so that's been a wee bit annoying. That's not really happened to me that often, if ever. It's been maybe close to happening once or twice, I suppose, but that's a thought, it's an experience I've had that I just thought I would share. You can view the pools in detail per game week by clicking the hyperlink. Thanks very much, Joshy4. If I actually knew that, but I always forget it. Because I've seen somebody mentioning it somewhere else at some other point. Where is the hyperlinks again? Are they up the top? Yeah. So let's look at 292. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see it. Right. So All-Star Super Rare, 1-star rare, 1-star Super Rare, 2 tier 1. So it's a tier 1 podium basically. Tier 2s for the top 9, and then a big tier 3 tail. All-Star Rare Pro, there's no supers. 15-star rares. So yeah, if we're getting to like 20 and 25 stars, I'm normally quite chuffed with that. So to get to 15, I think the star pool can get to the 30s. I think I've seen it maybe at 30, 32, something like that. Be sure to check me on that, of course. But we've got 15 there with just these leagues for this one. Let me check out some of these funky leagues, what they're all about. So, Underdog Rare, we've got, what's that? It's going to be 4 stars, 31 tier 1s, is that? Yeah, 31 tier 1s, that's huge, man, for underdog rare. The specialist, we're getting specialist rare, we're getting super rare payouts, we're getting 2 tier 1s, 4 tier 2s, 9 tier 3s, but yeah, we're not getting any good rares in there. And then specialist rare and unique, we're getting a tier 1 podium, super rare, that is 11 super rares behind that. Is it? That's just super rares now, isn't it? Yeah. So in one division or 1 week there, they were winning rares, and then in this one they're back to winning super rares. So that's interesting. It's not a consistent thing. Maybe they're testing it out, or maybe they're just mixing it up. That's the way the game works now. Challenger Pros only get 13 star rares, which compared to All Star being 15, that's not actually too different. So that's actually quite, it's quite interesting to note, quite generous. Under 23 rare pro, let's see it, 8 stars, so much less. Generally, like, under 23s is like, if Challenger, what is Challenger again? It's 13, for that to be 8, I would expect that to be 11. If Challenger was 13, normally, that's the way I think it kind of goes normally. So I think that is a bit of a nerf. I think that might be part of the aging out. We're waiting for some young stars to emerge and take their place in teams and fill up those pools and those tiers. So that's a really interesting development. Is there anything else I want to check out in here? You guys can check this out. Of course, you've seen how I've done it. I've just run to Sorare, at Sorare on Twitter. It's like one of the first or second tweets that's there. The game week calendar, you can click on that. You get to the Median page, and you can click through all these hyperlinks and go through them all in great detail. Is there another one that I wanted to check out that was interesting? The kickoffs. Yeah, let's check out the kickoffs in game week 290. Because that's the one where like super rares are winning limiteds and uniques are winning rares. So unique kickoff, we're getting 3-star rares, podium, okay. 12 tier 1s, 15 tier 2s. For the super rare kickoff, 15 limiteds, 30 tier 1s, 45. So they're actually quite fun prize pools. It does give super rares, because if you're getting 15, and that's got to be an L15 under 50, so that's like your Yangel Herrera type players, So if you can get some of these guys that can play and can kick ass on occasion, then you could be walking out with, a star limited, like a good one, could be like a Messi or an Mbappe or something. That's a good chunk of change to be picking up if those kind of guys are actually detailed in the pool. Was there anything else? 10-star rares on All-Star Pro and Tier 1 podium in All-Star Super Rare. There was some other transfer stuff that I was sure that was happening recently. The last couple of days I thought was a pain in the backside. There was huge developments that for Sorare specifically. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to take a wee pause for the cause, guys, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into lineup builder, right? Because where I was at last time on game week 296 lineup building, right, was building the best possible teams that I possibly can. Now, with the trade that I've done today, I can drop this Ki-Sung Young. I think that's, Ki-Sung Young, and they've just signed that big German guy, Litnachuk or whatever. So Saul hopefully will just get better, but Marcos Llorente is a top shelf card for me. That's what I've brought him in for, and I think he goes into that no problem at all. So anyway, but now the next stage of pre-season then comes is checking the depth, is checking the strength of the squad. I need to zoom out a little bit, or will I reconfigure the screen? Yeah, let me reconfigure the screen a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. That'll do us. So wait, so what I want to do now is test out the squad, right? Now some of you guys were pointing out some of the stuff I was pointing out as well, in terms of I know the kind of second string, or the second string, the B-listers are not quite total apex, right? So this is now the strength that I really want to really think about and really examine, because what I'm building in game week 296, like I was thinking about with the prize pools when I was looking at them, is by and large my priority teams. How many teams did I think I would expect to win cards? This, for an all-star rare team, can win cards. So 1. Under 23 rare, I think Andrade's a wee bit, no. Let's say no. Champ Europe, yeah, I'm going to say yeah, this could win cards. This is good enough. If Haidara plays, Unal, whatever, and I've got other guys knocking around. Let's say no, right? Let's even just be pessimistic and say no. Champ Euro, no, right? Champ America Rare Pro, yes, that can win cards. Under 23 Rare Pro, yes, that can win cards. All-Star Rare Pro, yes, we're at 4. no, let's say, and then let's say 5, right? So I've got 5 teams that I think I could definitely say week in, week out, I can think about, if everything goes the way I expect it to, I'm in amongst it, and we're winning cards, and we're hitting podiums, and all that fun stuff, right? So, what if not all these teams are playing? Then a lot of these configurations are all going to mash into each other, right? And then what's going to happen is I still will probably expect 5 teams to win, but it might not be the 5 teams I have here. What dictated the 5 teams I was expecting to win when I was first building them was the better goalkeepers, right? So that is like quite obvious when you look through the selections here of who the better goalkeepers are, right? The next thing I want to be thinking about is those other goalkeepers that are now like, I'm thinking about like Tani isn't in a great team here, but I know he plays. Coronel maybe the same, Oblak maybe the same, and Bayezid maybe the same. And then maybe if I got another goalkeeper knocking around still that's been, we're an all-star, we're a pro, click on goalkeeper. So I've still got Bond, who I'm trying to sell, as you know. Silvio Lung is transferred. He's joined Kim Sung-gyu in the bloody Middle East. So I've lost 2 goalkeepers in this transfer window to the Middle East, and I don't think there's much chance. I think there's 0 chance it gets scored, and that makes me sad because I'll get some Champions League utility out of them when they play Asian Champions League, but that is like 12 games or something. It's not anything to even note. But on some random midweeks, I'll have 2 random goalkeepers come out of the woodwork, and maybe they'll save my bacon. So let's just cross our fingers on that. Axel Werner. I don't have anything. I really don't have any other goalkeeper of note knocking around the back of the club. Maybe Scott Bain gets a loan. I highly doubt it. Maybe Paul Lobe gets a loan or gets some minutes. I highly doubt it. Van Leer, doubt it. So I don't have anything really going on here. The Sousa, of course, is a reward. If you guys are unfamiliar, on all the videos, if you leave a comment, you get entered the competitions. I'm giving away under 23 goalkeeper Diego Sousa, who I expect to be the number 1 goalkeeper. Maybe he will be, maybe he won't. You can do your own research on that, but I think he will be, and I think the probability of him getting minutes and playing and being a valuable card is undeniable. And I'm giving him away to you for participating in the channel and engaging with the content. Be sure to check out the end of any video for the T's and C's on that monthly giveaway. We do them every month. So the next layer down is the second stringers. Now, before I get into that, I see the comments. I see Hendo's here as well. Fist bump to you, Monfrere, as well as Gamers Philosophy. And I actually seen some member stuff earlier that I didn't catch. So let me pause for the cause. Right. Crikey, didn't realise it was over a year. Joshy Forth has been a member for 14 months. He's been having a season book for 14 months. Love it, my man. Yasser Ismail, welcome to the club. Thanks for taking a season book on board, Monfrere. For anyone who wants to become a member, what you basically do is you go to the member section on the homepage of the YouTube channel. We've now got a Telegram group up and running. We do a member stream. There'll be one tomorrow. Most weeks we do like gallery reviews and all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. But thank you very much for joining FC Barcelona, for getting on the season book. I absolutely love it. Unique giveaways in the interactive group chat on Telegram. If I had enough uniques to do that, then 100% possible, but I don't. Any thoughts on Andras Nemeth? I didn't know he was getting a good run in pre-season, but I know he's highly rated, and when he was getting minutes last year, like, they were saying really good things about him, gave him a new contract and all sorts of stuff. So I picked up another limited rookie of him like a week ago or something. So it's actually that's coincidental to anything that happened in pre-season, by the way. I was unaware of that. But 11 days ago I picked up one. What's his first name? Andras. How many have I got? 2. Oh, there he's there. First thing on the filter. So 6 months ago for 30 quid, and then 11 days ago for 16 quid. That's a good buy for me. I quite like that. 325 issues apart, these cards are. That's fun, isn't it? But I love my limited rookies, and I think he's a great one as well. And I say from the minutes he got, Genk straight away, we're like, that contract on the table, sign up, wee man. And if he's been playing in pre-season, then that's great to hear. Maybe he'll be an under-23 midfielder that's going to emerge this year. Since we're talking about him, let's go and check him out. Not get many rares, only 38, and these are all rookies. None are for sale. Boom, the book is closed on Andras Nemeth. He did have an auction 7 days ago. That, of all people, Sorare Belgium one, so that tells its own tale, I think, doesn't it? None for sale. Great looking prospect here already. Limiteds were up to 359 or so quite a generous offering, but bearing in mind, this is the rookie edition. So once this season's done, This card is set as a rookie, limited print on 360, 400 cards, whatever it gets to. They're all kind of trading around 60 quid, 48 quid. So yeah, could be a good guy. I'll try and wait for an auction because I think this guy on auction probably still goes for the price I got him around. You know, I paid 16 quid 11 days ago. Maybe it's 25 quid now or something, but I think you'll get much cheaper than this on auction. Sorare data will be able to tell us, but even if I can have a quick lazy scan, 7 days ago, 40 quid. Oh, maybe not. Maybe his pre-season form is really good. Channy Sports and Mickey Fu are having a good wee chat. Andras Nemeth, we just caught that. Jonathan B, fist bump, good to see my man. I'm doing quite well in America Pro. Got a tier 0, well done, and a tier 1 in the last few months. Do I sell them or not? I'm scared of losing value as Europe rises. It kind of depends on the individual cards. Like John, as I say, like if you're worried about value dropping, that tells me you want to sell them for the value they're at or more. So find that point. That's kind of the best advice I can kind of say to that. You don't want to sell them when they're cheaper than now. You think them being cheaper is forecastable, as you know. So yeah, I would just really like try and like. You just need that gut feeling, just kind of rip it apart and kind of what is the gut telling me here? It's kind of like, yeah, I want to sell him for more or where he's at. I don't want to sell him for half in 2 months' time when this happens or that happens. So yeah, that feels like what you're telling me is what you want to do. And if that's what your gut's telling you, you know your situation better than me, maybe that's the best move. Because winning rewards is great, but you need to what's the term? You need to... Do you know, see when I first came into this studio, I wrote up a plan. It's still up there, right, for like a playlist of strategies, and I must have sat for about 2 or 3 days, and I came up with all these kind of funky ways of describing different moves and trades you can do on the platform and equating it. And I've got no experience in gardening or anything like that, right? But equating it to like shit that people do with plants, like you know, in terms of like stemming them and offcuts and putting them in a new pot and blah de blah, all that kind of caper. And winning rewards, like it is like a plant. You know, your gallery is like a plant. It does require like sunlight. You know, they do need to be playing football. They need to be on the pitch and stuff like that. It does require some things require a lot of food. Some plants don't. You know, and you could probably imagine. I think I come up with like 3 of them or 4 of them or something. Maybe I'll revisit it again if you guys in the comment section think it sounds fun. It's been on my drawing board for like a year, as well as a few other kind of kind of wacky, kind of fun ideas like that. Let me know if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. I'll flesh it back out again, maybe give it a shot over the next couple of weeks. He will be a lot better than Herrera. Who will be a lot better than Herrera? Hey, my. Who do you expect for tomorrow's event? I think they're going to have like a famous baseball person be like, you know, like J-Rod. What's the A-Rod or something? What's the big famous baseball player guy? It's something like that, isn't it? J-Rod, A-Rod or whatever. They'll have somebody like that, like signed player edition card or something right off the bat, and it'll be like, and they'll have maybe some cool rookie stuff. Like they have to go full baseball. They have to go baseball nerd from the off, and like we understand what that demographic wants and is about. So I think they have that, and they're really excited about it. And to me, it's going to mean nothing. And to you, it's going to mean somewhere between they're super excited about it, me being nothing. You'll be somewhere in the middle, and just judge your own reaction on that, kind of where you find yourself on that scale of caring about baseball in general or Sorare baseball in general. But I think they'll have something that for the demographic, I think they'll have something swish up their sleeve, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it's going to make any difference to me, if that makes sense, like me or you. As a Van Osh holder, Mickey Fu, I hope Pandur stays on the bench all season. It's very possible, you know, Pandur might just play cups or stuff like that. Like, I don't get the move. I don't get why you go from the Verona bench to the Fortuna Cittadard, like fighting to be number 1 with another guy who's been there for a couple of years, and there's no real reason for me to suspect he's losing his place unless he transfers. And if he transfers, then cool, different story. But I'm not, you know, I've managed to catch a rising star with a fallen stone and put them together and trade them for a Lorente super rare. So I know that star has every ability to continue rising, and maybe it will, and that's one of the things that would allow it to do that. So I'm prepared for that outcome, and I'm not going to have FOMO around it, because I'll have, as long as Marcos Llorente does his thing, then I think that's a pretty safe acquisition for me. Then I'm happy, I don't care. Do you reckon Capaldo will start for Salzburg this season? I'm looking for another U23 mid option. Well, they've just signed Gurna. That has been confirmed. That's one of the big transfers. And I was talking with Stish. He's got a Gurna. And I was saying that Leipzig were like right in for him. But he's went to Salzburg, which is even better, because he surely goes straight into their midfield to play every week. And that will be great for his development. And then Leipzig feels like the kind of next step on the path at that stage. Another thing I wouldn't rule out, by the way, talking about Salzburg, I don't know about Capaldo, Malky. Josh Forth and some of these guys that are here in the live chat will be much better equipped to discuss that than me, right? But see, one thing that I was thinking about with Salzburg, see if you did want to speculate, right? As you will know, right, our boy here, Caden Clark, signed a contract with RB Leipzig, having debuted for New York Red Bulls, okay, like a year ago or something like that. Broke out, 16-year-old wonder kid, scoring worldy goals and all that good stuff, right? This season, he's not featured at all, right? He is going to go to Leipzig. I'm starting to wonder and think, is there any potential in this off-season? Because he's not played. Like, he's now coming back into, he's been on the bench for a couple of these game weeks and whatever. Does he maybe just get back into some sort of fitness and they pull him into Europe and just put him into Salzburg, because they have been selling? There's been a lot of movement in Salzburg. Maybe they, Aronson's left. Maybe they bring in Caden Clark or something like that. So I think he might be a decent bit of speculation. As far as this season goes, he's got 2 rares now. For a long time, he only had 1 rare, and it was his own. And by the way, this is a beautiful player edition card. Now, fair enough, it's not a Caden Clark rookie or whatever, right? But see, for how minging the rookie really is, let's be honest here, this bloody headshot, it's not, okay, it's fair enough, it's his rookie card and whatever, but I think, even if he does move to Europe or whatever, any Red Bull one with him, even if there is only a few of them, I kind of get this filter to change now. It kind of sticks on me sometimes. I think it's a great card, a great looking card. Even this one's lovely. I think the player edition that he's got there, like, I think he sold his last one from last season to A.J. for like $1,000. So if you're interested in it and you had about $1,000, I reckon he would sell it. I don't have $1,000 for it, but I reckon, or you can check what he sold A.J. this last one for. Can I filter this? Yeah, there we go. £1,300. So what's that in dollars? Maybe $2,000 at the time. So yeah, $2,000. I reckon he'd probably sell it. What's that, 2 ETH or so? It sounds a lot. Maybe he would sell it for less now. Who knows? But I reckon if you had that and you really wanted it, I think it's a quality card. And if he goes to Europe and becomes even if he just becomes Brendan Aronson, then that card will be a lot of fun to have for a couple of years. Anyway, I don't own it. I'm not on a commission for it or anything. I've got no biases or whatever. I'm just found the card and thought it was lovely. And it might be a decent bit of speculation if you pick up one of the ugly rookie ones. If he does move to Europe, maybe Capaldo plays. Maybe I'm just making all this up. But I don't know anything about Capaldo. But I did think around Salzburg speculation, with them bringing in Gurna, maybe who else could come into this? Caden Clark is surely somebody that's on their strategy table of, players they could bring into the team, and if they move the chess pieces around, maybe that happens. If you want to see tier details, you can view the pools. Oh no, sorry, I think I've caught that. Do you think the Asian players will drop a lot? I think Asian players will drop more than MLS players, especially with the strides MLS is making to become much more of a recognised mainstream league. I think that kind of price protects a lot of the bigger players like the Carlos Velas and the Talis Magnos of the world. The headliners. I think a lot of their price protection, even the big scorers like Yaimar or these are guys that are just really good on SO5 as well in that league. I think the increase in stature from MLS is only good for that. Looking forward to LFC United friendly in an hour, so that's Liverpool again. Oh yeah, Liverpool are playing Man United today, aren't they? Good morning, Quinny. Bob Flynn, good to see you, my man. I think they will drop Liam Hughes. I just don't know how far. I've not, you want to talk to guys like Fraser and Sorare Japan, like these guys that like Matsuyama and these guys that just love live the Asian football, and they'll be able to really tell you, expect around this kind of time, if it's going to happen, it'll happen then. Let's see. I've got tons to catch up on here, guys. I'm really sorry. Hey, Quinny, have you seen Anderson from Livingston? Under 23 seems to be injured. Hello, Quinny. A bit late, unfortunately. Hendo, fist bump. I don't know Gamer's Prophecy, but I'll definitely look into him. But I don't know anything about him. I'm sorry. Holy shit, that is some giveaway. I agree. Another under 23 rare goalkeeper, Sporting Lisbon Academy graduate, and Antalyaspor or whatever, who have Nouri Sahin as their manager. And Nouri Sahin, if you're not aware of this, by the way, like Nouri Sahin, depending on your age, most of you will kind of remember him, right? And then again, depending on how like deep you were into football when Nouri Sahin was coming through. But Nouri Sahin came through, definitely around Klopp era Dortmund. I think he was maybe Klopp sold him. But went to Real Madrid, went to Liverpool on loan to try and recover some form and whatever. But he was class, and it just never happened for him. I expect him to be a good coach. I expect him to want to play good football. And out of the goalkeepers that they have, surely he's picking the Portuguese Sporting Lisbon Academy graduate guy to build his defence with. You know, hopefully that's the case. That's what I expect. I think it's happening. But I convince myself of stuff, guys. I do that. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I'm giving the card away anyway, so there's nothing for you to lose, only me. I've went big on a prize. Maybe it's a booby prize, but I think it's a big prize. Gaza fist bump, Barnsey fist bump. Good to see you guys. I've got a Sousa, but I found out over the weekend that they renewed the number 1 Boffin. No. When, Gaza? No. I checked this out like the other day. Boffin. No, they better not have, by the way, man. I'll be raging at that. I'll still be giving the card away, guys. It's just not as good a reward if that is the case. 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago. On Google, I don't see anything. The last one was a week ago, and I think I read this article, and I don't think there was anything in it. It was saying like Ghent have made offers, has signed a new contract. The goalkeeper has been under. Oh, what? Yeah, no, I did read this, but I didn't read like this the first time. Will not be the new goalkeeper. Oh, maybe I read this wrong. Oh. Paul, that was getting no. This is Boffin too. Oh, fuck, that's a kick in the balls, by the way. I've read this article. I'm going to put this on screen, sorry, so you can see what I've seen. I don't know why, but I read this, and I must have read it totally wrong somehow. Like, I just read it as like, yeah, it won't be the... I think I must have just scanned over it quickly. As... Yeah, I could have swore like the translation on it, maybe it was a shitey translation the first time or something. I don't think that's possible, but oh, that's a bummer. I'm going to need to do some work, guys. Maybe I can try and trade that around the market and see if I can get a better price. This price is taking a dip for sure. No trades in the last 7 days. That was me, the last one, 366. So no trades really in the last 14 days or so. So yeah, this is probably... Oh, no, I cannot believe that, man. Rude Boffin, you son of a bitch. Yeah, he's back up at 0.6, eh? He was alright. Oh, that's a kick in the balls, man. I'm sorry, guys. I tried my best. I'm so sorry, guys. I feel bad now. I feel I've bummed myself out a wee bit. It's still a good giveaway. I'm sure you guys will agree. But I'm going to need to try a wee bit. I'll try and need to wrap that around with... I'll need to try and do the same thing I just did for the Llorente. I'm going to need to try and... What I'm thinking is I might try and take like a decent limited or two. Like maybe a Nemeth. Like a Nemeth and something else. Wrap up with a Sousa. And try and make another trade for someone else who's like that Sousa. That I think, yeah, they've got a real shot of playing. And they're undervalued. So... bummer, man. Anyway, guys, Force Fight left. Yes, that was one that came out as well the other day. He's went to, is it Serie A? You said as well, Ian Sorare. Thanks very much, my man. Gabriel Johnson, fist bump. Good to see you, my man. I have like a starting under 23 goalkeeper in Filulu. I don't play U23. Just wondering if anyone has any thoughts on best time to sell. I'd say, yeah, wait for him to get like a game or two, and then you'll quickly see what the appetite is. If like lots of them sell, then you'll be like, oh, cool, everyone's going to pile in. Sometimes like these guys will get a couple of games and like their price doesn't move, and then you realise, yeah, I need to wait for him to you need somebody big to put him on Twitter in a winning team or something. Sometimes you need something like that to happen, you know, for the market, because he will go out of auctions, and that's the problem for some guys, is when they're not in auctions, they don't come up on enough people's radars, because they're not coming in auctions. People don't add them at favourites. They don't accidentally come across them and discover them. It just doesn't happen. So sometimes for those guys that go out of print, you do need like some sort of discovery event to happen. Like I say, like a big account wins something with them or something like that. They do a huge score and they show up on the Sorare arena kind of idea. Stish, good to see you, my man. Fist bump. Rewards are like propagating your existing cards. Yeah, I think that's like gardening speak, which I have encouraged, but I don't understand. Matondo's been officially announced. Buzzing about that. I have Sucic and Gurna SR now as a midfield powerhouse. Stish is running it, and he's got Veerman. This guy is packing the midfield out. Capaldo should be a big part of the RBS midfield this season. Would expect him to start the majority of games. Caden Clark played in the US under-20 team, so that's some of his disappearance. Nice, Joe Ducey for the catch. Thank you, my man. Hendo is packing a Sucic, a Seiwald, and a Gurna. Oh, no, he's saying that they're all ahead of Capaldo. I think Capaldo's more of a attacking winger type guy. Maybe he plays an Adeyemi type job for them. I also have Fernando SR, or Fernando Rare, and Piakowski, Jesus, and Soleil. The Salzburg love is in the house. I'm just catching up with all this, guys. Probably right. You guys are all kind of chatting amongst yourself. Bruce Anderson will be Livingston main striker, but they haven't had a great transfer window. Interesting. Nuri Sahin was a quality option on Football Manager a good while back. Ball Sherlock, you know your onions. Nick says, check Twitter. Is this for the Boffin thing? There's no point just putting Boffin in here. I normally refer to my pals at the Sorare Odyssey. Oh, yeah. Bastard. July 4th? When did I pick it? Oh, I'm such a fucking dick, by the way. I know, I bought it before July. 100%. Cheers, Nick. Fist bump, my man. Anton, 1 year extension. Is Bruce back fit again? Bruce. What Bruce were we talking about? Sorry. Still a nice card to win. Played and scored in a friendly. Still a brilliant giveaway. Yeah, exactly. Nice, I reckon double figures for goals in it. Yeah, surely there's a reason people didn't come after Boffin. You know what I mean? If he is, but I don't know. There's still a chance. I don't know. I'll try. If I can trade it into something that's significant, is definitely more meaningful, then I'll do it. I'll do my best for you guys as always. Please do leave a like on the stream. It means a lot to me, guys. And double figures for goals next season for, is this the Anderson boy, Bruce Anderson, that's who the Bruce was. Hey Quinny, hope you're doing well. Matty boy, I am. Thank you very much, my man. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, guys, we've been going for about an hour or something. I still haven't done the actual Sorare data stuff that I wanted to get done today, in terms of going through, putting the squad through their paces. So let me see if I got the page open. There we go. Right, so when I went back to game week 296, right, we're talking about, I've built 5 teams that I expect to win cards, right? Now the next level beyond that is limited. I didn't build limited last time, and I definitely want to take like some real consideration into who are my limited cards. Now when I do this on my whiteboard over there, when I'm thinking about my depth and whatever, I go to specialist limited, and the first 3 people I put in there is Joe Hart, Carter Vickers, and Goretzka. They're the first 3 that I put in, and I just think they go in here as like the base of this team. And then I just find a striker that's under 40, and I find anyone else that's under 40, and that's what I'm going to play. Ideally, out of my our existing stable of cards, that would be fantastic. If I don't need to go and shop for them, if I've got good guys that are in bad form or just coming back from injury and that kind of thing. But that's what I think. The reason I think that is those 3 cards are clearly my most expensive limiteds, and they need to be in line to be winning me the best thing possible as often as possible. And I think that is, I think that could show up with 200 points every game week basically. And then I'm just looking for these 2 other guys here, if I can get an average of 70 between them, and then these guys can go. I think that's where I start. Okay. And then for me, the next best division is of course All-Star, and I don't really think beyond this I'm that concerned about winning lineups, okay, but I am for All-Star. So as I scan through my goalkeepers, now under 23s I probably am, as I scan through All-Star, again I don't have that many goalkeepers fully available that I'm married to, if you like. So I've got Fry, Soria, Vanosh, Lampy, right? Really like Lampy. Not too sure about games and stuff. Sorare is obviously the European-based guy that I think can do well. And I've got Van Osh as well, like we've mentioned. I've got Fry, Muric is U23. Maximenko is still knocking about, will probably play. So I think I've got enough like random options for All-Star. I can kind of plug anyone in here, and I don't need to consider... I'm not considering the regions too much, you know. I just want to pick the best teams I possibly can for like these teams, and then under 23. So Hakimi will be my U23 defender. I know that already. So in terms of the best like O23 defender, maybe I'd even go for Dest or something, or Yaimar, Max. I want somebody that's a clear big hitter, but who is like the best. I can even pick Hatate, Savic. I think Savic is a good shout as like a solid big defender. I think when people are walking by and they hear me talking, they just want to chat the door. So random goalkeeper. I'm happy with Lampy. In terms of a big defender, I think I've got a lot of really good U23 options here between Hakimi, and I even think would you cry him? Frimpong is going to be on for a really good season this year. I think Crescito is going to be really good. I've still got Hatate. I'm thinking Hatate. I'm kind of thinking ahead. I think maybe Hatate is the mid card that I play here. But let's go with Frimpong, because I think he could be really good this year, and I think he's shown already he's got the minerals, if you like. No, I've got Arnold and stuff, I suppose, but then maybe I keep that for champion. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I've got Hatate to come in as the mid. I think that's going to be a great card this year. Up front, I've definitely got guys like Kyogo and whatever. I can pure hear everything outside the now. I've got a Kyogo champion edition card, yeah, and then who is my next best? Maeda. Yeah, I've got a Maeda limited as well. Sorted. So this is kind of, again, there's that stack, that kind of vertical stack element that's kind of coming back into play with the Kyogo Maeda, because I've got them now in All-Star Limited, and All-Star Rare Pro, and in All-Star Super Rare, So that's a lovely tandem that is just going to, I think, just kick ass and take names for me. So really excited about that. And I feel that's a really strong team. And, again, Frimpong I can interchange with a few other guys. Same with Lampy. Under 23 Limited, I think, kind of picks itself. I've bought Muric specifically for this to go with Hakimi. In midfield, I think I'm relying on somebody like Gavi, potentially. But there's somebody else, a few other guys are maybe knocking around. Maybe the Nemec guy comes through. Maybe Paxton Aronson's about to break through. Zidane Sartemir, it's not impossible. Tom Bischoff, it's not impossible. Tonali, of course, does play, is solid. Same with Kyle Ducone. But I think Gavi's the kind of big scorer that's here. And I would put, and again, he's a big card for me. Magno then can come in here, no problem, because he's not going to be a specialist card, no chance at all at this stage. And then maybe Abada, if I know when he's going to play and stuff like that. I know he's going to be like super subbing all the time, so maybe that's how I get Abada utility, is I just put him in with a monster team like this, and then every time Abada scores, I win a prize. Maybe that's the way this works. And who would I captain? I suppose I'd probably captain Magno. Maybe. I'm happy just to leave that there, and then let's say, like, it doesn't need to be Abada. It could be Cunha, it could be Rutter, it could be a lot of these other guys that I've got as options that might play and will play. Tonali, Kyle Ducone, whatever. So yeah, I feel like in Limited, that free kind of little run out that I just built is definitely capable of prizes. Can I do it in Champion Limited is the next thing I want to think about. So I've got Sorare. Yeah, okay, so this is going to work out pretty nicely, I think. In defence, I think Dest is maybe getting kicked out the door now, so I don't know how I feel about that for this kind of thing. But Lukeba, by the way. Oh, Lukeba's good for champion. Like, yeah, I could even play him in U23, of course, but I think he's good for champion. I've got Max Arnold. I think Silva's on for a great year this year. I said that already in the stream. Kostic is renewed at Frankfurt. I think he'll be amazing. Marcos Llorente, I think, will be amazing. I think I've got like a lot of good, solid midfield interchangeables here that is just reliant on the fixture. So Max Arnold away to Bayern Munich, I'm not going to pick. David Silva away to Cadiz, I could easily pick that. Kostic away to Hertha I could pick, and Llorente away to Getafe isn't great, but I could pick that. But I think I'd probably pick David Silva away to Cadiz. And then up front, don't know what's going on with Depay, but Cunha, home to Elche, no problem, give me that. And then the last player, maybe Cunha. Oyarzabal is going to be injured still. Kostic is quite safe. Llorente, Tonali. I'm going to go Kostic just because he's renewed in Hertha. Like, I think Kostic can play Kostic's game. And let's go Captain Fekir. I think that can win a card. No problem whatsoever. Challenger Limited. I know I've got Van Osh still knocking around. So can I field a team? Rio Tati as a defender. In midfield. Yeah. I've got my Turkish guys still. Hadzimetovic. I've got Tony Watt. Yep. Brilliant. And Balotelli. Nadisha Mai, Daisen Maeda. I think Daisen Maeda is going to be the easy pick here, but I've got a lot of kind of nice rotation options here as well. And I think that could maybe win some cards. It is Captain Hadzimetovic, sorry guys. But that's how we roll here. That could maybe win some cards. I actually feel a lot better about this team than I thought I was going to coming into it, to be quite honest. And then, is that me picked it all? So how many limited cards I think I could be in contention? So under 23, 3, 4, and then specialist. And I've got like enough kind of loose pieces still. Like yeah, I think that's decent, man. So the other rare divisions that I've not built, this is the kind of point of what I wanted to do on the lineup builder today, is look at the teams that I don't think that are, like, as they are built, they're now capable of winning, and is there room for improvement on that in any way, shape or form? So I'm probably going to start with under 23 rare, because I think that's the next one that I would want. Because the thing with under 23 rare pro, if I pull this team up right, is I do still have Barco in the equation, so I still do have a super rare mid that I could be playing here, and then that gives me the potential to play Guardiola here in defence if I don't have Harwood Bellis available, for example. And equally, if Nemeka was unavailable, I could play a midfielder in here. It then relieves the pressure on Ferran Torres to be the midfielder in here, and maybe have good fixtures that line up for another forward to come in, maybe like a Cunha or something like that to replace Nemeka. So I do feel that this team might take a few different shapes depending on fixtures and whatever. And subsequently then, what I want to make sure is basically I've got understudies in this team that are capable of stepping up into that breach. So Josko Guardiola can do that. A-OK, no problem at all, right? For a rare U23 mid, I think Adams is shaping up with the transfer now confirmed where he realistically could be in line for that. Ante Palaversa is listed still with this team. I actually want to check that out because that is important to me. I think he's still like 2 weeks ago. Could leave on a free transfer. Pedro Porro, Talas Magno. Yeah, let me open this up. This is Vital Manchester City. So this is like fan media. This is what we want to see. Palaversa, however, has 1 year remaining on his contract and could leave for a free transfer next year if a moving doesn't go through this summer. He joined on a 4.5-year deal. 19's been loaned out to Split, Ostend, Getafe, Kreutzig, due to his ability to get a look in under Pep. His loan is up in Belgium and he's due to return to Manchester ahead of the new season. He won't be playing. City paid $5 million for him. They'll want their money back, but it remains to be seen where he'll end up. Offering him as a make-weight in the deal for Nunez won't make them any money, but might shave off our potential the asking price. Yeah, so they were thinking about getting the guy from Sporting Lisbon, Matthias Nunez, and maybe using him as make-weight. That's what that looks like. So yeah, we still don't know anything about Palaversa. So it's just when I seen him there, I just wanted to check that. I do think Adams, if he starts at Leeds, like, he can be a midfielder that can get, let's look at Tyler Adams, right? Because when he plays, let's see, not right mid, left centre mid, centre right mid, centre mid, right? This is centre mid. CM. Yep. This is all for America mainly, right enough, to be honest with you, but Like, I feel that's when you get good AAA. He plays good for America. He gets doubles and triples and all that. Like, there's no decisives here. Getting into the high 50s and the early 60s is good. Let's left centre mid. Let's see what that adds in. Is it just still centre mids? Yes, it is. Right. Okay, that's okay. That's good data. So I guess right centre mid, centre right defensive mid, centre right attacking. Nope. Centre defender. Nope. Right defender. Nope. Right midfielder. Nope. So yeah, these are the only ones I want to see. And then, can we even just get starts in now? I think this is what I can get from Tyler Adams at Leeds United. I don't think this is out of the question in the Premier League for him. Like, and how many decisives are here? None. There's no positive decisives here. And he's got like 3, 4, 5, 6 bookings and 2 negative decisives. You know, I think this is going to be a decent operational card. I don't think he's going to be amazing. But I also think Gio Reyna is going to be coming back into the fore. And I think Gio Reyna, like, when he gets back to playing, like, he will be a capable outlet. So I now feel a bit more bullish on these types of guys, to be honest with you, than when I did last week. Especially Reyna. Like Terzic just said, he's a big fan of the player and he's going to be working on his minute management early season. So don't expect big utility out of him quickly. But Tyler Adams, I expect to go to Leeds and start from the first minute, basically. So I actually have renewed confidence in him, to be quite honest with you. Now, Thiago Andrade, if who did I have in here before? I had Weah as well. Weah, I think, is probably in a better situation. I think Leo just actually got a decent manager in. Was it? Who did Leo just get in? Who did Leo manager? I'm sure Leo just appointed somebody. Paulo Fonseca, yeah, they did. Yeah, so I think, again, Timo Weah under Fonseca could be really good because Fonseca is known as a adventurous type guy. Let's have a look at the Lille squad as we find it today. Now, I do think they'll do transfer business because they've sold Botman, they'll be selling Renato Sanchez. Joe David's been linked away, whatever, but I think Timo Weah is in for a decent shout of being a regular. Like, midfield. Yazici? Is he back from Russia? Onana is going to get a lot of minutes next year. Angel Gomez, I don't know, did they sign him permanently? But yeah, Bamba, Lihaj. I think Weah's in for tons of minutes, man, unless there's some crazy developments, because I think they've been nurturing him. I think internally they really rate him, and I think Thiago Andrade has more form to come. And I think between both of these guys, really, like, I would be quite happy to play either or of them. I'm still not as sold on Thiago for like putting him on depth. I think Timo Weah probably offers a bit more certainty, but I think with Castellanos going out, and as the season drags on, Maxi Morales' minutes will, because he's playing 90 minutes quite a lot now, that will stop. That will come to an end. He'll start playing 60, he'll start getting rotated out, and when that happens, I think my boy Thiago is then going to come into the fore. But until that happens, I really don't want to forecast against him. Martin Pecker, right, let's go and check this kid out on Flash Scores, because if there's been any pre-season, then that's sometimes a good place to try and catch if we've had any green shoots of progress with him. Yeah, he's in Austria Vienna 2 still, it's listed. Yeah, they played a friendly, wasn't in the squad. That's a wee bummer for this little rookie kid. I was hoping he'd have been in amongst it at least, but if he's not in the squad for pre-season, that's not actually a good sign, so that's unfortunate. I think he is kind of like coming back from injury or something. They do fancy him for the season ahead, but I can't think about him at the moment, of course. And Joe Chima Fujita is playing, could be okay. Yeah, so and obviously Palaversa's got a transfer to go. I still have Eric Garcia, but I think with Christensen coming in, and Araujo's so highly rated, I really don't think. I think this is the strength I've got. Now, if this is the strength I've got, right, now I'm not thinking about this team winning a card, right, but I'm just looking at this run of 4 as being alternatives to slot in the rare slots into this division here. It's a real drop in quality if I don't have, if it's just a 1-for-1, I think I can handle it, right? But if the situation came where, so I think under 23s, I want to be on the prowl. I want to be on the lookout for any up and coming prospects that I can kind of snipe out. Okay, so last time we were talking a lot about U23 mids. Okay, so I'm going to about SR mids. Okay, so now it is U23. I want some U23 quality. Now, I'm quite happy to speculate, and I'm quite happy to follow my gut and, catch the scent of a transfer or a managerial appointment that signals a new fucking dawn or whatever. What's your thought on Upa, owner Rare, debating with Delict? No, I think Delict and Upamecano are made to play together. So I think Pavard is the casualty if Delict comes in. I think that's what happens. Pavard goes to Juve, so I wouldn't worry about Upa. Decent keeper. Hope I've kind of lost where you guys are at the moment. Oh yeah, they were looking at Turkish TV. Yeah, you could easily pick that. Way Gabriel Johnson with the David Silva pun. I love it. West Brom giving Button and Palmer new contracts. Happy to let one of them go. Would be surprised if we went in for Clark. Confused. Thoughts on Abada? I think he plays every game. I just don't know if he starts every game. I think he'll get minutes all the time. That's a Strathclyde police knock. It did sound like it, wasn't it? It was the guy who wanted to lead the electric meter, but I was like, I'm sorry, I've not got an appointment for you. I'm working. Get! I just added Habib Keita. Ooh, Habib Keita. How did I know that name? Habib Keita. I'm going to say he plays for one of the red teams in Belgium. No. Ooh. Yeah, he did play Kroosik. I don't know why I knew that. I didn't know he was a Lille card, but quite cheap. I'll look into it. P-car back at Frankfurt. No, when I bought the P-car, it said that he just stayed on at Austria Vienna. I got his rare for 25 quid, as you probably know. But it said that he had just signed for Young Violets. These things are all quite recent, so I'm probably better reading one of these, but 1 week ago, 6 days ago from Austria Vienna. English translate, yes please. The Young Violets celebrate a clear 6-1 win, blah de blah. First test game preparation, the Violets turned the heat up, blah de blah. New signing scored twice, while with this guy, Pross and Picard and an own goal made things clear. Yeah, so he was playing for 6 days ago, Austria Vienna 2. I seen that they signed him. They basically loaned him from Frankfurt. He got injured or something, but he used to play for them when he was like 15 or 14 or something. Went to Frankfurt, blah de blah. He's back there now, and as you'll see on the rookie card, he's squad number 11, and I kind of like that kind of thing. Leo won 5-0 this morning in a pre-season friendly. Wea started but didn't score. Joe David and Bamba. That's fine. They're like a unit in that respect. But yeah, that's good. Actually, this podcast from Breaking the Lines with Jeremy McGann, I started listening to it last night with a guy that runs a podcast called La Classic Pod, I think it is. Really good listen. I've not got to the bit about Fonseca or Tudor yet, which is the bit I'm the most excited about. But yeah, be sure to check that out if and when you're chasing down content. So I do feel that, like, under 23s, which is a big division for me, but I do feel that I am definitely lacking one more spot in the club of distinct quality. Vinicius Souza maybe could have been that. Reina maybe could be that. But again, I've not. It's a strong backline, I think, but I think if I need to rely on two of these rares coming in, the team will struggle. I think one of them max, especially Guardiola, won't be a problem. But if I needed, I don't know, Guardiola and Adams, then who are my supers? It's probably going to be, because then I need Jota in the team. So then does it maybe become a D4 outfit? Is maybe the next thing I think, you know. And if I was to drop, let's just say I've not got the supers to make it work, I take Ferran Torres and I take Jota, and I just bring that team down and drop that on top of Guardiola and Adams, for example, or Guardiola and Wea. You know, that's the strength of the squad. That's what I'm trying to kind of think on. So I don't have many other goalkeepers to actually stretch out, I don't think, in this fashion. I think America Pro kind of does itself, and I'm quite happy to have a constant good footprint there, because like I've always said, like, I want to be winning cards coming from Argentina and South America and stuff, especially. I don't have enough of that exposure in my gallery. Maybe Challenger Rare Pro is like my backline for All-Star Rare Pro and for All-Star Rare. And I kind of know, without doing the whole thing, the whole song and dance like I just did with the under-23s, it's rare mid. It's rare mid. I need a Calmac basically to come in here to give this a real fighting shot if Bayazit's a starter, and when I know Giacomakis is going to play, or when he does score and Hatate's playing. But I feel now that I've got a much better idea of where the squad's at, and I think that under-23 kind of trapdoor that I've kind of set myself up for. That's how I'm going to be playing under 23s, is really like one entry that I expect to win. And if the cost of that then becomes, this is what's going to take me on actually, if the cost of that then becomes the THB and the Nemeka are just not get great fixtures, or maybe one of them is missing, Nemeka can be a very useful striker in Champion, but mainly Harwood Bellis would become a fantastic option to move into Challenger Pro and to become the defender. I've got that Rio Hatate as a rare card, of course, so I can just switch that out. It wouldn't be a problem. Or I could just drop one other super rare entirely. I could just drop Giakoumakis if I know he's injured or whatever. So I kind of know the sliding doors of when that isn't this game week and not all these teams are playing. That can move, this can pivot to that, and da-da-da. So it would still keep it as being like 5 teams that could win, but one of them would become Challenger, Rare Pro, and then U23 Rare, rather than Under 23 Rare Pro and whatever else. So yeah, I feel a good bit better about that in that sense as well. I do still feel a wee bit of a need for a goalkeeper, but yeah. So the next thing that takes me on to then is Champion, right? Because if I'm keeping that same kind of mindset, the most important thing coming into the season is winning, right? Haidara, I don't think it's nailed on to start. I think the rest of these guys are fine. But as we've seen in the last stream, I was looking into Unal, and it feels like Juventus are sniffing around him, and he would just be fucking Vlavic's shadow. So I don't want that to happen. But I do have Cunha, who is probably a more nailed option. I could put Cunha in here, I think, now at this point, no problem at all. He's starting most of pre-season. Illich, Herrera, Haidara, a lot of interchangeables here. Soler, feels like, where is Soler? Yeah, it's got Picard here as back at Frankfurt, but that's not the case. Soler, so let's put Soler here. Soler's still at Valencia under Rino Gattuso, so that could be an interesting season ahead, we'll see. And then I could maybe drop Andre Silva, and then the extra spot could be a super rare. And yeah, I could throw in Unal, I could throw in Boyata. I think this team actually feels pretty good the way things stand. Now, a transfer for Soler wildly changes this. As things stand at this moment, I'd maybe go for Boyata, because I think he can get a goal from a corner and that sort of thing. I think Henriks and Maffeo are going to be the number 1 right backs for their clubs respectively. Would I play Henriks? Yeah, maybe I'll just play Henriks. And then it would have to be Captain Soler in this instance. Yeah, okay. So I actually feel a lot better about my champion options. I think Cunha's a bit more nailed in. And I say between Henriks and some of these other guys, I don't mind picking fixtures when Verona's at home against a weak opposition. When we find out where Yangel Herrera's going to end up, Amadou Haidara, if he becomes a starter, then he becomes the key mid in this piece. And then maybe even the team becomes something to the tune of a little RB Leipzig outfit, where I could go and get that Guardiola, plug him in for Angelino. I've got Henriks as well as what you see here, so that might be a little play that could come to the fore as well, depending on, fitness and availability and how things roll out. And that's not a big hitting team, it's not a podium team, but that's definitely a tier 1 team, so yeah, I feel a lot better with some of the. And I've got Marcos Llorente as well, so I could even play Llorente in here when Key is available, and Key goes into All-Star, Llorente drops into here and becomes a real power player. Equally, with the amount of options I've got here, I do think about the super rare goalkeeper, and I still have a viable ability to play super rare champion, which is a division that I did put a lot of time and energy into over the last 8 months. But yeah, let's put Soler back in. Soler. And then I can even just go Cunha Unal. Right now, that's actually probably the best thing to do right now. Where is Cunha? That's probably the best way for me to line up in champion at this moment. That's actually quite fun, to be honest with you. If that stays the way it is, I like that a lot. That could be a really fun team to follow in Champ Euro. I just added Habib Keita. Sorry, I'm just catching up with this. Evert Lindhorst, 22-year-old midfielder, will be a starter and showed a lot of promise in pre-season. Let's have a wee peek at him. So yeah, I actually feel maybe I can include Champion now as a potential card pulling team. This team I think is still, I've got Robbo still knocking around. I could pull Robbo into Champion. And let's even just flesh that out, because Angelino might not be the most desirable sometimes, it's just easy. I think Robbo's been better than Angelino, and maybe sometimes I maybe want to prioritise that. And I've got Werner, I've got still quite a lot. I've got Hitates and Andrades and Isakas, and yeah, I've actually got a lot of kind of All-Star fat, which is great. I love All-Star being really competitive, and I want All-Star to be a card winning team. Not every week, but look at these scores here. If I can pull in this type of card reward from All-Star, brilliant. Really happy with that. All-Star rare, brilliant. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, a wee bit more under 23 padding is needed. Just maybe one layer more, like one player more. Is probably the best way of putting that. And otherwise, yeah, I feel like I've got I think I'm almost ready. So this little pre-season friendly has kind of helped me kind of realise, especially the reward that I'm giving away this month, it might not be quite as glitzy and glamorous as I maybe thought. So I'm sorry, guys, on that. And yeah, so I feel much better now. The reason I'm doing this lineup builder, if you're still here, by the way, thank you very much. Please do drop a like on the stream, it means a lot to me. But the reason I'm doing this and the reason I do it on stream and I think of it as content is like everything I'm kind of juggling around there in my head, you can definitely like the Pandur example, the market, lots of things that are going on in my gallery. Like hopefully, like I'm saying, this is my third season coming into Europe. Hopefully some of these experiences, like you might want to do what I did last year because it worked out for me. And what I'm doing this year, I expect will work out, but it might not. Let's see what happens. And, hopefully that's part of the thing that you guys enjoying the content or you get from the content is like, oh, well, that made a bit of sense. And no, I don't agree with that. I actually think something else might happen. Use your own tuition, maybe against mine or anything, that's what I really hope for. So for the great stream today, guys, an hour and 40 minutes or so. You've been absolute troopers, absolute champions for hanging out with me for this whole time. It's been an absolute blast. We went through the game week calendars. We did lots of stuff. Today. I feel fantastic that I've got the Marcus Llorente in because I'm not going to lie, when I finished the stream last time I was really thinking, man, I've really let myself down by letting Kostic, because Kostic just signed an extension with Frankfurt as well, and I thought Kostic could go anywhere and it wouldn't be as good anywhere, but Frankfurt wouldn't be as good. He's staying at Frankfurt, so he will be as good. And then also the Vinicius Souza, everything we've spoke about already, so I feel much better to have somebody, especially Marcos Llorente, especially him, but somebody like him. I feel fantastic for it. And I feel now we've had 2 pre-season kind of streams, we're getting closer to game week 292 as the game weeks roll on. Like this game week, like I've got less teams out, but this specialist one especially, like picking up the goalkeeper that's underdog qualified, like oh no, it's not this game week, it's this one. Like I've got Crescito is a great play. The Magno reward, the Roldan long play, blah de blah. I'm hoping, man, really hoping we get some great utility out of the end of this pre-season, because with Sorare, guys, with your players, it's all about momentum, and Magno's in good form, a few other, but anyway, I want to start getting the machine going again, getting the rewards pulled out, and then when we get into Europe, we're holding our green and white scarves above our head and we're welcoming the champions back to football. It's just going to be raining rewards. Great content for you guys, hopefully, as well. I'm hoping to get my camera into Parkhead as well. That should be good fun for some good bants. And, everything else, guys. Member section. Telegram is in the member section as well. We have a Telegram channel now for the £2 membership. Make sure to check that out. And I'll be back tomorrow with a member stream. There'll be content out later today on the channel, on Sorare TV. If you haven't checked out my second channel, go on to YouTube and type in Sorare TV. It's Sorare exclusive content. Like, I don't talk about football, I just talk about Sorare, if you like. Whereas over here, I try and keep it football based, even if it is a Sorare video. Like, we're talking about all the Sorare stuff, but I want football to be the big part of the centre of the conversation. What's happening, transfers, managerial changes, tactical switches, etc. As well as any trades that I'm doing and any actions I'm making with the gallery. And then, did I do these teams? Did I make these teams with you guys? Did these populate themselves or something? Let's make these teams and then we'll end the stream, right? Because this is the next weekend. I don't actually know what. Why is this not deleting my teams? I don't actually know what I've got available for the weekend. I'm pretty sure I've done it on a lineup builder already, privately, like just to myself. But so what game week will it be then? 288 must be. No, I don't have any lineups built. All-Star rare, so I've got 3 keepers. 4 keepers. I've still got Bond. 4 keepers. Is this loaded yet? Yes, it has. Let's delete that. And in tournaments, right? Okay. So let's see what we've got for special. Oh, this is the funny specialist. What scarcities can we do again? It's everything, isn't it? Oh, it's limited. 032. And then can we see the prize pool yet? Nope. Interesting. Right, so All-Star Rare Pro. Oh, it's the New York, it's the New York Derby, man. So I'm going to go Sean John. I think actually probably Coronel is the play to go. I think maybe there's a bit. No, I'm going to go Sean John. I'm not going to do that. Callens. Legit away. That could be good. Key. Yeah, I think I go Legit and Key in this team. Johnny Russell. Yeah, that's good. I think this is the best team to go for. It's kind of the same team I played. I don't mind. That's fine by me. Plug and play. We're picking the same stuff all the time anyway. Under 23 Rare Pro. We've got Tanny. We've got Tolkien. We've got Barco. We've got... yeah, we'll have to go Kamala. And I've got Acevedo. It's just Acevedo. Okay, that's fine. That is what it is. Or, I don't have any alternatives to Tolkien. I think that's the problem. But Tolkien can be okay, and I don't know. Would I play Andrade? No, I won't play Andrade over. Nah, I'm just doing it. Right, that is what it is. I don't mind that. It's not too much of a conflict of interest, let's say. And then, yeah, so I have Bond, whose L15 is 46. I'm fucking waiting for that to get much lower. His forms, he's just had a 23. I suppose balanced off the 80 odd. It's not that bad. And then who else do I have for defence? Ominami didn't play the last game. I need to look into that. Chanot. I think Amundsen's the only nailed on guy I've got here, which is it's going to be a bit of a problem, I think, because yeah, Morgan is going to come in here, and then I've got Hebert and Thiago. Oh Jesus, I think I'm probably going to go Hebert since the whole Tati Castellan, or maybe I go Thiago. Yeah, I'm going to go Thiago. This is a real fucked up team, but as long as this gets ETH, like that's the starting point. Like anything beyond that is Brucey bonus. And Osaka got a 75 in the last game week, and I think I'll just captain Osaka just to save any kind of mutiny in the club. But I'm just going to just want that to get some ETH. That's all I want. Now let's check this specialist 032. So I know I've got an old keeper. Oh, is it rares? For his limited. So I could play Sean John. Chanot, don't think he starts. Thiago Martins is back. Nobody starts. Yeah, I'm not going to be playing that. Under 23 specialist. There is rares and limiteds for each. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So let's check this out. So let's say we went Lampe, Crescito, Gill is back as well. Fagner's not featured in a while. That's worrying. Let's say we went for Crescito, Manquello. Oh, Rui Diaz isn't playing now. Oh, bummer, man. And then who would be the spare man? Maybe I'll go and I could play Gill still. So that's interesting. If I can get an 032 forward, I might do that. That could be fun, right? Under 23 specialist. Oh no. Oh, that's a specialist criteria as well. So 64, 46. Fagner's just not featured in like 3 weeks, so I don't want to take any risks on him. But yeah, let's just say Crescito. Manquello's 40. He's not sub 40. So yeah, I would need to probably go and get 2 sub 40s. I'm not going to be doing that. Specialist under 23s. I've not even got a goalkeeper for it, do I? Oh wow, I do. Kuchikov. Oh, nice. Mayer. Yes. This could work, by the way. Galarraza. That could work. And then, I've got Magno. And then Noose. Is that what I go with? Oh, this could be fun, by the way. Who do Argentinos have? Barras. That's the sort of game these guys might play in as well. That could be a lot of fun. Kujakov isn't going to play, but is he? Such an idiot. Kujakov isn't going to play. Underdog Limited. I've got the Romo, don't I? Yeah, so let's play Romo. Crescito. Yeah, I can work with that. Isaka, yeah, no problem. Hebert, sure. And then the last guy, Barreal, Manquello, Cableon. Oh, Markic is back. Who are they playing? Viborg? I think I'm going to go Barreal. And then I'm going to captain Crescito. No, I'm not going to captain Crescito. I'll captain Isaka. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that for a wee throwaway underdog team. Maybe I'll come back and edit that later. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Sorare site's a little bit sticky. I know what that team is. I can come back and make it later. It's no big deal. Oh. Let's see. Set. Okay, they're all set now, sorted. And then can I do All-Star? Yeah, I can do All-Star, can't I, surely? Carlos, Lampe and Fry. VC, I don't think they're great. I think Lampe's the man. Yaimar's the man. Roldan's the man. Magno's the man. And then the best other guy, Rui Diaz, isn't playing. Jordan Morris will play, I suppose, won't he? Thiago Martins, I might just go double defender. That might just be solid. Alex Roldan might play, probably will play. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's one of these top guys, isn't it? Definitely. It's going to be Thiago Martins, Jordan Morris. It's Chicago, isn't it? It's Captain Roldan around these parts, really, isn't it? But it's a derby and it's Magno. Yeah, so I think the Captain Magno. I think that's a really strong team, by the way. Upgrade the Fry with the Lampe, because Lampe's just get big scores on him. He's a bit of a monster. Yeah, I'm quite excited for all this, by the way. Do I have any kickoffs or anything to look at? No, I think that's me. So actually, for this coming week, guys, I think I'm going to have 5 strong teams. Underdog and All-Star and Limited, and they're kind of, a lot of recurring faces, a lot of recurring characters here. Especially in the rare divisions, guys. I'm just playing around with the same 15 cards at this point. Madly waiting for Europe to return. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, guys. Please do not forget. Have we touched on everything? I think we have, haven't we? Yeah, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you guys all on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.